Hey everyone, it's Corey from IVNB here. We have just wrapped up our 5th Cubs season of podcasting. That's right, we've spent a half a decade talking about this team. It really hasn't been the most enjoyable 5 years for Cubs fans. We've seen 2 ownerships, 2 front offices, and now 4 managers. We've seen some positives, I guess, but a whole bunch of negatives. Oh, God. Well, during our 10 year of podcasting on the Cubs, the team has a record of 356 wins and 453 losses. That's right, they're almost 100 games under 500 during our stretch. So I'm not telling you these things to inform you that we're ending the IVNB podcast. I'm telling you these things because things are bad, and we Cubs fans deserve something positive. Just because the team can't seem to win doesn't mean that its long-suffering fans can't experience some victory in other arenas. The nominations period for the 9th Annual Podcast Awards is underway, and we would love your support. You can nominate us in the sports category, and we'll be up against some of the big players like the ESPN podcast, but a handful of independent podcasts are nominated every year, and we would love the opportunity to represent you, our listeners, and Cubs fans at the awards ceremony in Las Vegas in January. I was able to represent the podcast of a few of our wives, Mommy's Cocktail Hour, last year, and I would love the opportunity to represent the IVNB community. Nominating us is really easy. Go to podcastawards.com and in the sports category, type IVNB and our URL, ivnb.com. We would also appreciate it if you could take a few seconds to nominate the podcast that my wife and Andy's wife do, and that's Mommy's Cocktail Hour in the food and drink category. And then just enter your information and click submit. So thank you for your time and your nominations. And we also want to thank you for sticking with us through this very painful period in Chicago Cubs baseball.